Hi, everybody. I'm Julie Matheny, speech pathologist and IBCLC lactation consultant, and you are in for a treat with this live, this post today. I am going to bring on Gabby Rosas, who is a twin breastfeeder. So today we are going to be talking about twin breastfeeding. And we're going to can come on. We're working on it.
Hi. Good. How are you?
Awesome. So for those of you who don't know, Gabby is an occupational therapist. She is a cranial sacrophacial therapist, Gillespie approach, and an IBCLC lactation consultant, and she did it all while breastfeeding twins. Amazing. Gabby was actually local to me for a long time, and Gabby works with me with LA Lactation LLC. She actually moved, she left me, boo, and she moved to the Denver area, to Parker, Colorado. So if you happen to be watching this and you're in the Denver area, specifically Parker, Colorado, and you are looking for an IBCLC in person, Gabby is your gal. She's amazing. But if you are a twin pregnancy or breastfeeding twins, she is available for virtual consultations.
Yep.
And she's amazing. You can actually find her through my website, LA Lactation, and we'll also put up all of her business information. So if you got twins, if you're struggling with twins and breastfeeding or multiples, she is amazing. So I'm going to let Gabby actually introduce herself a little bit, talk a little bit about herself, and then we're going to talk all about multiple breastfeeding.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, so like you said, I'm an occupational therapist. I'm an IBCLC. I've been working with Julie for a couple of years already, so I'm excited to be working for LA Lactation here in Colorado. So a little bit about my history with twins. Like I have twin boys. They're gonna be 3 in April, and we just weaned them. I just weaned them off breastfeeding. So yeah, we breastfed for 31 months. So I'm excited about that too. But yes, I wanted to like share a little bit about my experience with breastfeeding twins, like little tips that maybe I could provide, or any question that any other followers have.
Awesome. So jump right. So tell us a little bit, because you not only breastfed twins, you had a really interesting lactation. That's actually how we met. I was your lactation consultant because your babies had tongue and lip tie. Can you tell us a little bit about your baby's journey with tongue ties?
Yes. So my babies, well, before the tongue ties, like they were born a little bit premature. They were born at 36 weeks. So we had all of those complications maybe that prematures have. So like we had jaundice, we have hypoglycemia, we have feeding difficulties. So all of those things at the beginning, we had to supplement because I wasn't producing enough for them, for their jaundice level to decrease, or their glycemia to go up. So plus we had the tongue ties. So we had the feeding difficulties because we're premature, we were a little bit low tone, and then we had those tongue ties that at the beginning, I saw the tongue ties. I knew they were there. I worked a lot of them, like oral motor skills. We did like different ways of I tried different ways of helping them. But at the end, we ended up cutting them 3 months. I think I had a good amount of milk, and my letdowns were fast enough for them to benefit from having, like, for feeding from me. So like the tongue ties, in terms of like feeding wise, was not bad. They were transferring the milk, that's what I mean. But one of them was like, his tummy was so bloated because of like he was getting so much air, the latch was not perfect. And the other one, because of the same problem with the latch, he was spitting up a lot after feeds. So
when you had them, did you start on a triple feeding plan? Were you doing like breast and then pump and then supplement, or what did you do in the very early days, because they were premature?
Right. So in the at the beginning, they were having a hard time latching, both of them. So I had to pump and supplements. So I was doing the triple feeding. Like right away, my milk wasn't there because of all of the complication that we had. So I did formula for the first 2 weeks. So I was just trying to maintain my milk supply by pumping frequently and supplementing my breast milk. But we did bottle feeding. We also did like some finger feeding. We did like different types of techniques to feed them at the beginning. And then, it was a lot of like positioning, like to get them to latch. I found you, thank God, at around the 12-week mark. And
how long would you say it took you to, because a lot of people will ask this about prematurity and about
yes.
twins, how long did it take you to actually pump yourself into a full twin supply? Did that happen right away, or did it take you a little while to get that up?
So I think it was around the 2-week mark that I was able to get the full milk supply. Like it's good to have someone to help you with like when you're increasing your milk supply, because it's easy to go into an oversupply. So having someone, a lactation consultant next to you, helping you with that, because it happened to me. I went into a milk, like a very robust milk supply. I think there was once that I pumped like 12 ounces in 5 minutes. It was like too much.
Of milk.
It was a lot of it.
You technically then quadruple feeding. Were you doing twin babies? I guess that would be quintuple feeding, right? Did you actually put both babies to breast and then pump and then supplement both babies? So were you doing like double that work, or how did you manage that?
At the very beginning, it was more about pumping, and I actually used the formula at the beginning. But then when I was able to get the milk supply up, I was feeding them for a little bit, and then so I guess quadruple. Yeah, it was a lot. But it's possible. I was able to breastfeed them for 31 months, and I'm so glad I did the cutting of the tongue tie, because that helped later on with other things that we were struggling with.
You started working them, because I do know your story, your journey,
yep.
But for everybody out there who didn't get to walk alongside that with you, did you find that you could latch both babies at the same time right away? Were you truly tandem feeding right away, or did you feel like you had to perfect the latch with each baby, or how did you feel that worked in the beginning as well?
Right. So one of them got the latch a little bit faster than the other one. So at the beginning, yes, I had to do one at a time, because I was not able to figure out how to help him, like them latch. So yes, for sure, you want to do one like separate. And I did notice around the 4-month mark, which was after the tongue tie release, that I was able to like latch them fast, and like they didn't need help actually to latch. But at the beginning, it was a lot of like helping one latch, and then maybe if someone was there, like they will help me latch one, and then I will latch the other one. But yes, I had to do one at a time at the beginning, so it was a lot of work.
What is your best pro tip for those first like 4 to 6 weeks? Was there something that you were like, oh my gosh, I wish I had found that sooner, or I'm so thankful that I had that at the beginning? Was there something for those twin moms that in the beginning you feel would be really helpful or essential for them to know?
So I feel like having first like someone with you is important, and not only because of the latch. Then you wanna eat something. You want like there's not a lot of space to do all of this what you need to be doing, right? Like you're feeding, like I felt like I was only feeding them for a long time. So like having someone next to you, like support for the first 6 weeks. So 6 weeks was a good one. But if you could have it for more, that's amazing. Also, like if you already had a prenatal consultation, I think that's a big one, because I was able to utilize all those tools that I learned during my prenatal consultation and what I had of my lactation experience as well. So having all of those tools that you could like, okay, baby's not latching, baby's not like, what should we do now? How can I feed the baby?
Now, in that prenatal did you work with somebody one-on-one to really prepare you for multiples, or did you just do a generic breastfeeding class?
It was a generic breastfeeding class, and yeah, I regret that. Like it's better to know to have it with someone that has the experience with twins, because it is very different. Not only the aspect that you have to feed two people at the same time, but also all the complications that have in twins. So
Well,
they
and
do not teach that.
the the cool thing about our practice is Gabby and I do work with most major insurance plans. We use a third-party billing company, the Lactation Network, and when you have certain PPO insurance plans here in the U.S., we can actually get prenatal consultations covered by insurance. Virtuals would be free, and you can do multiple prenatal breastfeeding consultations for your multiples. I've now had a couple families that are expecting twins where we do 2 or 3 prenatal consultations to as things develop, right? Because twin pregnancies are always considered higher risk, so they do carry more complications. They do tend to end up higher C-section rates, higher induction rates, depending on what's going on with the growth of the babies. But the cool thing about our practice, and I love that Gabby's able to do this, is she can do virtual consultations for those prenatals to really specifically tailor and talk about what to expect for her. She has that personal experience of what to expect during the birth, what to expect in those early days post-delivery, how to position and latch the babies, and all of those really cool tips and tricks that come along with that unique population. It really is, it's a unique population for sure.
Yeah, and I love like every time I work with a twin family, I love it because like I hear you, I feel you, I know where you're going through. So I love working with twin moms. Um,
And in those prenatals, is there a pillow that you recommend? Because I love to hate pillows, right? We don't
yeah,
need pillows. It's you and a baby can get a good latch, but obviously twins have its own. It's you have 2 babies, so to be able to do that in a supportive way where you don't feel like you're hunching, leaning over, right? Did you find that there were breastfeeding pillows that you really liked to support the babies?
right. So at my baby were so tiny at the beginning that only a boppy pillow was enough for me like to put it on top, and I can hold them one at a time. But as they got bigger, I used a twinsy pillow with the boppy pillow because the twinsy, I felt like I was like
Yeah.
hunching, slouching a lot. So I would use the boppy pillow underneath to get the babies higher. I did the football hole for most of my breastfeeding journey at night because, like, obviously they do not wake up at the same time, so I had to do one at a time. We did a lot of co-sleep, and the easiest way that I found was sideline. So I would be in the middle, one baby on one side, sideline, feed, fall asleep, turn, sideline the other side. So
And did
um,
you like switch babies, or did they have a designated breast for the night? Like, okay, you're right, you're left, and then tomorrow you're right, you're left, or how did you manage that?
um, not for the night. I did not switch the one for the night. During the day, for sure, I was switching because I had one breast that was more like produced more milk than the
You
other
had
one. But
a city with twins, a slacker.
well, not a slacker, but faster
Yeah,
letdown, let's say. And you can see because like when they got older, the other one, the one that because when they got older, I did designate one breast to one arm, and one of the twins didn't notice that this one was faster and was always eating for that one. And when he noticed, he didn't want that one anymore.
oh
So I did,
no.
yeah, I know. But I did have one like a faster letdown. But like during the night, I don't remember like alternating breast. Like they always slept on the same side. Um, but during the day, yes, for sure, I will alternate. Um, the other thing I like about tandem feeding, first because you can feed at the same time and you don't have to spend so much time like feeding one after the other, was the letdown. So when one of the babies at the beginning, one of them was not eliciting letdowns as much, so if one of them triggered the letdown, the other one will benefit from that one. So I like that about tandem feeding. I think that was one of the benefits from it.
Gotcha.
um,
that you kept them mostly in football hold. Did you find were there other twin positions that you eventually were able, especially doing 31 months?
I,
A 2-year-old is a much different ball game, right? Two-year-olds. Did you
oh
figure
no.
out other positions?
Oh yeah. So at the beginning, like the football, and I did like a lot of upright position. Maybe because I have like short trunk, it was easy for me to have them upright. Um, but as they got older, like sometimes I'll just like lay down and they will come to me crawling and we'll just like start feeding. I did try cross cradle. Cross cradle, I don't know if it's more anatomy, but it wasn't my favorite actually. Um, but yeah, I feel like yeah, the koala one when they're just sitting on top of you and you just like laying there. That
You
was
just like
another.
the milk bar.
Yes, the
Yeah.
milk bar. Yeah, yeah. As they got older and they were able to latch on their own, it was more relaxing for me, right? I didn't even have to hold. Yeah.
Now, a lot of moms say that when they're breastfeeding a singleton, that the breastfeeding hunger is real. A lot of us will comment that we're hungrier breastfeeding than we were pregnant because you're eating for two. You have two babies, but you're still growing a baby. You're still eating for two, but the second is much bigger when they're on the outside than when you were pregnant.
It is.
Were you
Oh
like
my God.
angry all the time?
All the time and thirsty. Like I had to like drink so much water. Midnight snacks. I had to find something that was healthy enough so I could eat it like at midnight. But yes, for sure. It's real. The hunger is real.
So talk to us a little bit about the calorie needs because it is different from having a singleton. We know we need about an extra 300 to 500 calories. Talk to us a little bit about twin nutrition and how you manage that.
Yeah, so for twin nutrition, you need 600 to 1,000 extra calories. So um, you're busy, you're feeding babies, you're like trying to sleep, plus you have to get time to get a good meal and nutritional meal and caloric meal. So that part it is it's not easy, or it wasn't easy for me because like you're tired, you just want to eat whatever, like I don't have time to. So like just having set of snacks nearby when you're breastfeeding, like nuts or peanut butter or like fruits or meat, like something that is like rich in proteins and calories and good calories, fat. You want to have those nearby when you're breastfeeding, and your bottle of water every time. So a good reminder every time you're breastfeeding, you want to be drinking too.
I loved going to Gabby's for consultations because her husband would always end up ordering smoothies, and they were
Oh,
the most
yeah.
incredible smoothies I've ever had.
I remember that.
I know, right? I need to ask you offline about where he was getting those smoothies because I still remember him getting me a mango smoothie. I was like, "This is amazing," and you're like,
I
"I'm
know.
starving." Ah.
Yes, 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 for sure. I remember that. Yeah, I had a lot of smoothies at that time. Um, but yeah, let's see. I feel like the hardest part of breastfeeding twins.
Oh, I lost
Sorry,
you.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
something pop up. Sorry. I feel like sleep is a hard one. At the beginning, like we tried so many ways to co-sleep. Like we tried like the co-sleeping like in a mattress, or like bringing their cribs next to us, or like having one on each side, or like co-sleeping. Like we tried so many things so we were able to sleep. I think that one is one of the hardest one because they did feed through the night until they were 21 months. So, like, and they were in like sync.
yeah.
So
So
I
during
was,
the day, did you keep them on the same schedule?
yes, during
Or,
the day,
but
yes.
at
Like
night,
the first,
obviously, you can't control when they're going to wake up.
right. So that was one of the trickiest part. Yeah, and just like getting the hang of like tandem breastfeeding. So once you get like it takes practice. Everything in life is practice. It's practice for you. The baby needs to practice also. So the more you do it, like don't give up.
Yeah.
It's possible, but it does take a couple. weeks or even more to get
What's
it.
the realistic expectation for people to like figure out the tandem feeding?
Well, it's gonna depend on on the baby. Like if the baby and how premature the baby was. Um, like if my babies were like 36 weeks, so it wasn't like as premature, but the other babies are like way more. Um, like we said, like maybe when they reach their adjusted age, like 40 weeks, they can start getting the hang of it, and it takes them a couple practice for them to get it. But I think it's going to be very depending on the baby, the mother's anatomy too. So like finding like that's why prenatal consultations are great because like you can find a specific strategies for each family depending on what they're struggling with or what they want to do. Yeah.
If you only could give one tip, what's
Okay.
your hottest, best tip for breastfeeding twins?
I feel like those consultations, like prenatal consultations, because like having information of what to do, like it's very easy to get frustrated during like your hormones, you're tired, you're like sleepy, like you're hungry. So it's like problem solving sometimes it's very frustrating. So like when my kid got the tongue tie release, he wasn't able to latch right away.
Yeah.
So he knew how to use his tongue for 12 weeks in a certain way, and then like I'm asking him to use his tongue differently. So I was not able to latch him, and that was frustrating for me. For him, he was hungry, he was crying. So thank God I had other tools. So I feel like having information is a big one for all those breastfed moms, like breastfeeding moms.
Is there anything that you regret that you wish you had done different?
Oh my goodness, what should I have done different?
Or are you happy
Um,
it was what it was and you're okay with the journey?
I'm not sure.
Do you
I feel
not
like
release them until 3 months? Do you wish you
yes.
had done it sooner, or do you feel like that timing was actually good timing for them?
That's a good question because at that moment I felt it was a good timing. I was like working like under oral motor skills, or I was doing body work on them. So we did a lot of like preparatory activities and exercises prior to the tongue release. But then it was 12 weeks of them like knowing or using their tongue differently, like I was saying. So like if I would have cut it before, um, yeah, I think there will be like less struggle for them because they have to relearn a skill. But I don't regret it. I'm happy I did it actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get that a lot of, I wish I had known about it sooner. I wish we had released it sooner. I wish we had, done more body work before, or, like you and I in our realm, we see a lot
Yeah.
of ties that are the reason why they're struggling with their breastfeeding. And every family is going to feel a little bit different feels about that journey and how it transpired. Um, if you were to have another one and there was a tie identified, do you think you would do it the same, or do you think you would do it sooner, or do you
Yeah.
really feel like it just depends on the baby?
Oh, well, yeah, it's gonna depend on the baby. We have to assess and see if it's like necessary. But if it was really tight, I would have done it sooner. Yeah, like I don't regret it because I was able to work with them. It was like they had their oral motor work during those 12 weeks. But I feel like I would have done it sooner. Yeah.
Now, anybody out there, is there anyone with us tonight that has twins? Give us a little wave or give us a shout out. And if you have any questions for Gabby about twins, go ahead and pop them in the chat. We want to see what's out there. Gabby, anything else that you want to tell us? Any other encouraging words? Any other tips or tricks that you can think of?
Let's see. First, like I wanted you to know that you can have a full milk supply for both babies. Like the supplementation for me at the beginning was because like they were premature and like there were other things going on. But like if that weren't the case, like I would be able to like feed them. Like I did exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months until we started solids, and then we continued until a year. So I feel like you don't feel like you don't have enough milk because your breasts are meant for that. Other tips, my looking at like other things that I used during my breastfeeding journey, besides the pillows, when my husband needed to help me, because like I also wanted for him to experience feeding the babies. We had something that's called table for two. So this table for two is like they're prop sitting, and you can feed them at the same time, like the bottle feeding. You can use a boppy to like prop them up or feed one at a time while you're breastfeeding the other one. Like there's different ways for feeding your babies. I used an app at the beginning, so Baby Tracker, I think was the name of the app. And I used that one because you can have more than one baby in there, so to track how long they were feeding for, or any other things that you want to track, like stools or anything that you want to track. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm available for any like questions. Like my Instagram is lactation and more, and I'm open for any questions, tips, consultations. I'm here for you. Yeah.
I'm going to tag her in the post so you can hop over to her page, go like and follow her too for more of those twin tips and tricks and other lactation tricks. Gabby, if you couldn't also tell, is also bilingual in Spanish.
Oh,
So
yes.
if you have any other questions?
¿Alguna pregunta a esas mamás que están esperando gemelos o que tienen gemelos? Aquí estoy para ustedes.
La próxima vez vamos a hacer todo en español.
Me parece bien.
Yo tengo que traducir todo de mis videos, todo de mis posts. Porque no tengo casi nada en español, aunque sí, yo hablo español también. Hola.
I think it's the first time I hear you speaking Spanish. Oh my God, that's amazing. Good job.
I mean, I lived in Costa Rica for 2 years, bachelor's degree in Spanish, so I know how to read it and write it and speak it. And
I know you knew how to speak Spanish, but you never talked to me.
I don't think most of my followers know, because I kind of raps.
No.
I was the primary Spanish-speaking speech therapist at my hospital before I left the hospital. So anyone that spoke Spanish, they're like, Julie, go see that, go do a speech about on that stroke patient.
Oh, wow. Okay, good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah, anybody who needs Espanol, obviously I will send you to Gabby first, but yes, I all right. Anyway, Gabby, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Again, lactation and more. I'm gonna tag her and everything so you can find her. But yes, the twin and multiple population is a unique niche that does have its own unique struggles, its own unique challenges, and its own unique rewards, for sure.
Yes, for sure.
Your own bragging rights for being able to feed 3 humans, yourself and 2 humans. All right, well, thank
you, Julie,
tonight, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Bye.